All right, welcome back. You're watching Morning Cafe. We continue with our special coverage of the Devolution Conference 2025 in Homa Bay County. Today, our show is titled State of Devolution. Now, for the past 2 days, we've been engaging the Council of Governors, Senators, and even Deputy Governors, just to get their opinions on this Devolution Conference, 12 years since the advent of the devolved units. Today, we are connecting with the partners. Institutions and organizations that partner with the county governments and the Council of Governors in as far as filling the gaps on devolution. Just before the break, we were talking to Shalom Diku from Food for Education, and now we move to another conversation. John Okulo, Director Corporate Banking at KCB, and the conversation about the role of the private sector in devolution. Karibu sana.
Asante sana, Fred. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yes. Probably an overview of how you're engaging in this whole conversation of devolution from KCB's perspective. Just an overview before we engage in the specifics.
Yeah, thanks, Fred. So first of all, I must state that it's an honor for us to partner with the Council of Governors and with the counties in working towards achieving the goals of devolution. So we are one of the platinum sponsors, and we regularly sponsor this event, more as just a statement of how important and how much we value devolution. At the county levels, we work directly with the counties, supporting them at times with their operational working capital requirements. But more importantly, we engage very deeply with the citizens who live in those counties by providing a very broad spectrum of financial services and products. And the way we do it is we do it through the various divisions of the bank, whether it's through providing digital financial services, lending to MSMEs, value chain financing, supporting public-private partnerships, financing contractors, financing businesses in those counties, because the approach that we take is one whereby we feel it's important that every segment of society has access to financial services. And on top of that, we really focus on sustainability. So where we can provide renewable energy facilities for schools, solar lighting, LPG for cooking, we do that. Where we can support projects that protect the environment, we get heavily involved. We have solutions for female-led and made enterprises. That was a program that was launched, I think, in 2022, where as a bank we've committed to disperse up to 250 billion shillings. I think we're more than halfway through that right now. And it's allowed us to ensure that, from a gender equity perspective, we're doing our part.
And we'll come back to discuss the specific programs that you're engaging in. But you've mentioned probably to provide working capital, stuff like that. But the biggest challenge has been delayed disbursements to counties.
Yes.
We understand that most counties are working in a constrained fiscal environment, that they're not able to generate enough own source revenue, but that even the shareable revenue that comes from the central government sometimes is delayed. And we just want to understand, how does KCB come in such instances?
Yeah, thank you, Fred. So I think what one has to recognize that, yes, 12 years is it's more than a decade, but it's a relatively short time when it comes to this new form of governance. And so the counties are progressing in building up their own source revenue. And I think you heard the data yesterday, that there has been some impressive growth in various counties. Of course, it's not all level, but we are seeing significant growth overall. And the national government is also doing its part in dispersing funds. Where there are challenges is just the bridge. At times there are delays, There are delays maybe a month, 2 months. I think yesterday you heard that whatever was outstanding as of 30th June was paid. But what we do as KCB, we ensure that we provide a level of working capital to bridge that gap. Okay. So if there's a delay of a month or two, we step in, provide the funding on a revolving basis.
Yes. Yeah. And the challenge therein has been that some counties have been having serious challenges in paying their staff. Is this where you partner with them to provide solutions for that?
Exactly, yeah, because as you said, it's more an issue of bridging,
yes,
of bridging a delay, yeah, and for any county that requires that support, we do provide and are willing to provide for those who may not have approached us yet.
The other challenge has been on pending bills, and this is yet to be addressed. I don't know if at all there are any possible solutions from your end or the banking sector to assist counties in meeting or rather sink to it that this challenge does not persist going forward.
Yes, I think from a pending bills perspective, there's precedence, and we've seen how the national government has resolved some of the pending bills issues, especially with the road contractors. It's a question of just having to identify where the cash flow gap is, where the shortage is, and then provide funding that fills that gap. The biggest challenge with pending bills is that services have been provided, goods delivered, but payment has not been received. So there's an X amount that needs to be financed from future revenue. And I think that's the challenge, yes, because that future revenue also has its own work to do to pay for future services. How we structure this is by being able to identify the source of that future revenue, the work that the county has done in securing it, in making it more certain. Then, as a bank, we can take a view and provide medium-term funding based on those cash flows. But it has to be based on very solid and clear projections on where these revenues are going to come from. Yeah.
There are serious challenges also to do with fiscal discipline. We've seen very many headlines about how counties are working and how the challenges, especially of fraud, corruption, and lack of transparency and accountability in how monies are managed at the county level. Are you facing these challenges in dealing with counties?
No.
Yeah.
No, because, and the reason why I say no categorically is because in every society, every sector, there are challenges. And I think if one dwells too much on headlines and the negative, then you lose the essence of our service to society. What we focus on is supporting counties. Of course, they have to have sound financial management. Of course, they have to have that physical discipline for us to be able to step in. Okay. But I wouldn't I want to get into a discussion on those other things. Yeah.
All right, I get you. You had mentioned about the specific programs that you have, not just for your interaction with the county administrations, but also with the communities. And you mentioned one to do with the female-centered enterprises. Tell us more about that.
Yes. Okay, so this is an initiative that is very passionately led by the Managing Director of KCB Bank Kenya, Mrs. Anastasia Kimtai. And it's a program that's meant to bring some form of equity in the provision of financial services. The female population in Kenya is 51%. About only 10% have access to financial services. So this program helps bridge the gap. If it's a business that is led by someone of the female gender or has been built by them, then we have solutions. For example, can lend up to 10 million shillings unsecured to the business. If they're operating as a chama, we can lend up to 10 times whatever the chama has saved, up to 250 million shillings. There's a bit more flexibility on the security package that we provide. And you find that many of these businesses are MSMEs. And you find that the non-performing loan ratio of these businesses are extremely low, extremely low, yeah. So you're actually lending to a segment of society that has shown a very strong discipline and grit in building up from the MSME levels to larger businesses.
What do you think has been the biggest challenge in, because you say that women or female-run businesses, they're very low on default rates.
Yes.
What has been the biggest challenge with any other demographic? I don't understand.
I'm not sure if...
The youth, for example, there have been complaints about, we could just mention, we won't discuss the Hustler Fund, but that the default rates, especially for the younger generation, are much higher than female-led businesses. Is that a reality?
Look, I think the reality is that female members of the society are viewed as the cornerstone, as a pillar of families. Yes. So, they're the ones who raise children to a large extent. They're the ones who the child will always literally hang on to their skirts. So maybe just that cultural aspect brings a certain level of much stronger discipline and grit in ensuring that they can, keep going.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about the youth? Because youth unemployment is a huge challenge for most county governments.
Yes.
Do you have specific programs for the youth?
Yes, we do. We have a program called Tujiajiri. It was launched in 2016, and it's structured so as to provide the youth access to TVET programs. Through the TVET programs, they can learn artisanal skills, practical skills, which allows them to, say, go into masonry, into construction work, plumbing, into cooking, into the beauty business. The type of skills that, once you graduate, you can actually go, into town and get a hustle, get a job, yeah? And if you're good at it, you can actually start employing other apprentices. And we feel that that's the most direct way to empower the youth, so that on a daily basis, they can actually see that if they focus on their business, then there's a path to growth. Now, what happens is that after they graduate, we give them a toolkit, depending on the trade, so that they don't have to spend on that. I think we've had, since the launch, more than 40,000 youth that have graduated through that program. Our estimate is that we've impacted over 500,000 individuals through the multiplier effect. So it's something that we work closely with the various county governments, and they identify the type of programs that are relevant for their particular area. So you'll find that those counties that are strong in agribusiness will tell us, look, we want to develop youth in this particular direction.
Yeah. Have you had an opportunity probably to structure or create a particular product based on the specific differences or uniqueness in some counties? That probably some counties would need some different financial intervention as opposed to others.
Yes, certainly, and I think that's the power of devolution. Because what devolution has done, it's given counties more control on their fiscal position and on their revenue base. It's even given them more control on certain aspects of infrastructure, such as healthcare, roads, street lighting, water, trading centers. So when we engage with counties, it's really more a question of the county saying that we want to develop a particular area, and we work with them. I think one of the successes that one would probably see now is the agribusiness growth in some counties such as Nyandarua, Muranga, in that central region.
Okay.
I think Homa Bay is also coming up very strongly. I think you can see in fishery.
Okay.
Yeah, in fishery, and also just in trading activities. If you look at Tomboya University, we partner with in various aspects. When you speak to them, they say that a lot of the students who study here also end up having a side hustle in town. Yeah. And so it's really the small things that make counties successful. It's the ability to, say, develop, create, and build a university like Tomboya University. They're now launching residential units for the students. When you have such a university, it means that accommodation is required. So, people will build up apartments and so forth. Other services will be required. Who provide those services? It's typically the youth. Now, how do you get the youth involved? They need capital. Now, do you go and ask these young people to give you security? Where do they get the security from? So what you do is you tailor programs such as Tuji Ajiri. You also work with businesses that may require raw materials that can be produced by these small enterprises and leverage off the credit from a value chain perspective. So those are the type of structures that we put in place, but it does require intense engagement at different levels. Yeah.
Now, 12 years of devolution, of course, KCB has been there way longer as one of the oldest banks in Kenya. Yes. There's the debate about whether devolved units should be economically viable or it's simply a devolution of services to the communities. And people differ on this one. Do you think that is a conversation going forward that even the bank considers, that are these units economically viable for us to continue engaging with them?
I believe that the essence of devolution is to empower counties and regions economically and socially so that development can reach every corner of the country. The challenge, I believe, that what led to the new constitution is that when you centralize everything, then you get all the wealth and opportunities just in one particular location. Like, a good example is you have Nairobi County. Of course, it's the leading county. It accounts for about 27% of the country's GDP. Yeah, but through devolution, the country has been able to begin tracking more closely the gross county product, that is the productivity in each county. Yeah, and therefore, from a data perspective, we can actually tell. I think the latest data shows that 16 counties are growing faster, at a faster rate than the GDP, than the country's GDP. Yeah, and one can actually delve into that and see what is actually driving that growth. Okay. Those counties that are growing at a slower pace, then it's also possible to identify what needs to be done to push them forward. Yes. The county governments are governments, and government's role is to facilitate business and the economy to run. And so I don't think one can really question the viability. What we need to really focus on is how do we ensure that the people living in each county are given the same opportunities that those in the larger cities also get.
I ask this because I see that KCB recently injected some money into the Nyanza International Investment Conference.
Yes.
And that is a key, very huge statement from your end.
Yes.
Why is that, and what is your intention?
The intention is to support the counties when they want to showcase the opportunities, when they want to bring people together to discuss the opportunities available. We step in often as sponsors, but of course you have to be able to step in a manner that adds value. So with time you actually find that conferences will evolve. It's probably in the next decade, the success that we'll see is more intra-county cooperation and engagements, as opposed to a view. And maybe to your earlier question, counties should not really be competing with each other. They should be able to complement each other. They should be able to trade with each other. And that then strengthens the viability. If there's a county that's very strong in certain agricultural products, then probably it makes sense for them to engage with those counties that are weaker in that space, facilitate trade, and also see what else they can trade from the other end. If it comes to things like ensuring that there's sufficient energy and power, maybe there's a way of facilitating the development of some of the off-grid solutions, solar-enabled. If it comes to resources such as water, maybe there's an opportunity for counties that have an abundance of water to see how they can pipe it to others.
Yes. And for that example of the Nyanza Professionals Forum, the Nyanza International Investment Conference, yes. And what role do you see such forums playing as far as the growth of counties? Because we're talking about devolution, and some counties have been much slower, have been said to be much slower in as far as advancing their programs as opposed to others. What role do you think such programs will play? It's
a platform for discussion. I'll give you an example. The Nyanza Economic Forum, those a very topical discussion on artisanal mining. Artisanal mining, these small-scale miners, yes. Right from Migori to Kakamega and so forth. The fact that there is revenue that is generated, but these youth need safety equipment. They need to be organized into chamas to support a saving culture. They need to be given equipment that makes it easier for mining. Now, in such a forum, you get those who are involved in the county governments, you get people from the central government ministry, you get a lot of input from professionals who are lecturers or experts in mining, and it brings them together. So the forum acts as a catalyst for future solutions.
What other financial solutions do you provide for county governments in specific, and as far probably handling their own revenue?
Yeah. So there's I did speak about the bridging finance, which is really to assist with managing the day-to-day fiscal operations. What we also do is we bring the private sector to work closer with counties, and public-private partnerships are probably the most sustainable way for development. You can look with the current Taifa Care program for universal healthcare. You've noticed that a lot of county health facilities now have equipment that has come in on a leasing basis, and it's then linked to usage, and as these hospitals serve patients, then they can claim through the SHA system. Okay. Now, somebody has to be involved in financing,
in handling that.
Some of this leasing equipment. They're the contractors who work on the county roads. They require equipment.
Okay.
Yeah. We also are able to provide leasing arrangements through lessors for counties that need their own vehicles. There are counties that require solar-powered systems, say for water, for their waterworks. We also provide that. So, as a financier, we bring the private sector to the public sector, and
Yet KCB has been there for a while, and you were dealing with these communities even before the advent of devolution.
Yes.
What would you say has really changed in the last 12 years that we've had these devolved units, that you could say that probably KCB now is engaging the communities different because of devolution now?
Yeah, okay. Good question, Fred. Yeah. KCB has been in existence for 129 years and has always played a role in all aspects of society. What we've seen in the last 12 years is I'd put it this way. We've been able to see the potential of different parts of this country. Okay. Yeah? And even with the way we organize ourselves, we find that we're more focused in asking ourselves, are we present in regions? Are we relevant in the regions? Yeah. Do people need to sit in Nairobi and make decisions? Or if you're making a decision for Nyandarua County, you should have somebody sitting closer to it. So you'll find that many banks are organizing themselves much more on a regional basis. And it's also provided more confidence to lend to the businesses operating there. Okay. Yeah, I think, Fred, you'll probably appreciate that. Over the last 12 years, if you go to almost any county in this country, you'll find reasonably good roads, you'll find electricity, you'll find, your Wi-Fi, and that is a testament to devolution. Yeah.
Matters digital innovation. How are you leveraging on digital banking to serve these devolved units?
Okay. So out of our 38 million customers, I'd say the bulk of them, more than 20 million, are our digital customers. So it does allow us to reach individuals through whether it's mobile banking or internet banking. From a county perspective, the digitization of revenue collection is a very powerful tool. And I think you saw one of the counties yesterday showcasing how they're able to monitor revenue collection literally on a real-time basis. Yes. A number of companies have taken that route.
Our world is changing every day, and so should we, for the better. Each week, we tackle the big why, the question that should be on everyone's mind. Why isn't this fixed yet? Deforestation, global warming, and the adverse effects of climate change. The future isn't just something that we inherit, it's something that we create. Join us on The Green Fix as we tell the stories of those who refuse to give up. When it comes to fixing the planet, there is no time to waste. Join me, Shiksha Arora, on Thursdays at 9 p.m. on The Green Fix as we look into the big why, you and I.
For comprehensive information and education on your health, Body Garage is here.
Don't allow anyone to pluck out your good tooth as long as it is strong and stable.
Cancer doesn't start today and you get the symptoms tomorrow. By the time you pick it or the time it is manifesting in you, probably will be there about 5 to 10 years.
The eye is the window to the rest of the body.
Don't forget to stay hydrated.
And of course, you at home do take your water.
So the ultimate test is actually you check your urine. Your urine should be clear.
Clear like the water?
Yes. Should be able to see the other side of the urine. If your urine is colored or has changed color, you cannot see the other side, then you have not taken enough water.
Don't forget regular health checkups. Early detection saves lives.
I want the message be, we can prevent cervical cancer. We prevent cervical cancer in several ways. You have young girls and even somebody who's above that age, you can pay at least every 3 years. Somebody should have a pap smear done.
If you are 40, 45, 50, going upward, once a year, please go see it.
Yes, indeed. Welcome back, and we do apologize for that technical hitch. I'm still here with John Okulo, Director Corporate Banking at KCB. We were discussing the role of the private sector in devolution. John, you were taking us through what else you have within this huge setup at the Devolution Conference 2025.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we have our stand. There's even an ATM machine there.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, within this compound, there's an ATM machine.
There's an ATM machine. So if you want to withdraw cash, you just go there and put in your debit card. If you have a debit card for another bank, you can still withdraw if it's a Visa or MasterCard enabled. But we'll also issue with account opening forms. To open an account with us.
All right.
Yeah.
Final thoughts on this Devolution Conference, 1 day to go?
Yeah, I think it's a success, at least from what we saw yesterday and from all the engagements that we've had. It's certainly a platform whereby the respective counties are actually able to engage with each other. So it's not just about individuals coming to see what's on offer, but the counties engage with each other. Hopefully it'll encourage intra-county trade. And then, of course, with the support of the national government, we feel that the next decade is going to be a very good one for devolution.
All right. Yeah. Some optimism about devolution. Thank you so much, John Okulo, Director Corporate Banking at KCB. We continue engaging our partners to the Devolution Conference, to the Council of Governors on their role, especially the private sector, their role in devolution 12 years since the advent of this devolved unit. Asante sana, John Okulo.
Thank you very much.
Take a short break. We'll be back with more.